Well, welcome to Squatch Talk number 2. I'm Big Fat Al. It's been probably 3 weeks or a month since I did the first one. Just waiting for people to find this channel. I don't know if a couple people maybe have seen it. It'll get out there. But until then, I'll keep doing them every 2 or 3 weeks. Been busy lately, refinanced the house, bought a new RV, done a bunch of stuff, grandkids, working. So I'll work these in when I can. The first one was about half an hour long. I'm going to try to keep them down to around 15 minutes or so. So today is April 4th. Let's see, January, February, March, April. Yep, April 4th, 2019. Been pretty nice here in Seattle. Mostly sunny, little rain here and there. But shoot, a couple weeks ago we were up in the 70s. Now we're hovering right around 60 degrees. It's really nice, sunny. But rain is coming. Of course, I'm going to the our beach property this weekend we're going to leave on Monday, next week, spring break. I'm not working. School bus driver, I have it off. Take the new RV to our beach camp down on the ocean. Got the trail cam all ready to set up, see what wanders through our camp at night and when we're not there. So that'll be interesting. There is some Squatch activity down there. Apparently, like I said in the first video, there's a corridor that they seem to move through across. Ocean Shores is in a little peninsula. We've got Grays Harbor County to the east, Grays Harbor itself, and then the Pacific Ocean to the west. And Ocean Shores is like a peninsula between the two. I don't know, maybe at its widest point it's 2 or 3 miles wide. But this corridor that they seem to find a lot of tracks, and the very few beach sightings has been between these two roads. It's about a half-a-mile corridor. I'm right in there. My property's right between those roads, and I'm wooded. The property around me is not so much, so you know, it makes sense that they move through my property. And there is a couple game trails that head out the west end of my property towards the beach, and there's a couple vacant lots back there, and there's some game trails. They're not very tall, so I think it's just bears, possibly cougars. We might have cougars, mountain lions down there. I think I found some cougar scat, but you know, maybe they're ducking down and getting through these game trails. They're not. I can't walk through them. They're not tall enough, but I'm gonna open them up, make them taller, so we can access them down to the beach. Just save us a walk around the block. But we'll see how that goes. Right now I got to build a shed down there next week to keep all my stuff in instead of hauling it back and forth. So anyway, this week, a couple of the things I've been thinking about is I think there's a general consensus, at least the people I've talked to and myself, that you're never going to find, let me roll down the window here, it's getting kind of warm in here. You're never going to find real authentic Sasquatch Bigfoot videos on YouTube. And the reason for that is, now I'm not a conspiracy guy. I don't really care about conspiracy theories. You know, what happens happens. I move along my merry way. But I do believe that somebody, be it the government or Men in Black or something like that, do keep an eye on YouTube and social media. And I think pretty much anything that is titled Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yowie, Yeti, Skookum, Orang Pendek, mountain monsters, mountain beasts, wild beasts, wood devil, etc., 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 it probably gets looked at. And if it is authentic, gets pulled. Now, I also believe that there are real Bigfoot Sasquatch videos on YouTube, but I believe that they're not titled as such. They're hidden in there under some wacky title. I've typed in a bunch of stuff that could possibly be related, and it hasn't come back with anything. And if I'm right, and there are authentic videos on YouTube of these creatures, I think they don't stay up there long because somebody will watch it and say something to somebody who says something to somebody, and so on, so on, so on, and eventually comes to the attention of somebody who can pull it. Or in their comments, they use the word Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever, and those throw up a red flag to the YouTube administrators. I don't know, I could be totally 100% wrong on this, but if you watch YouTube, there's nothing on there that can't really be explained. You know, I'm a believer. I've been a believer since the 60s, but I've only found a handful of stuff on YouTube that I feel is real. Big Red, Timber Giant Bigfoot, Big Red, I believe is real. There's a couple from of Swamp Skunk Ape. There's one of them ripping apart a stump. I believe that one's real. Apparently, if they are flagging these and pulling them off, apparently whoever's doing that didn't believe they were real and let them up there. So if anybody ever watches this channel and hears this, if you get something and you know it's real, don't post it on YouTube. You know, keep it to yourself. Go to some Sasquatch conferences. Find out who you can trust. I've got several people that I would trust with to show my footage to. I'm not out there filming, so I'll probably never get the good footage. I'm a vocals guy. I like the vocals. Vocals don't really prove anything, so there's some good ones on YouTube and on the internet that nobody cares about. They're not going to flag those. You can't prove a species is real from a yell from a mile away. So I like the vocals. I record vocals. I think that's just my thing. It's easier. I don't have to go as deep in the woods for those. You know, some of the people that I respect in this, Cliff Barackman, I respect him. Dr. Jeff Meldrum, I've met him several times, along with Cliff. I've met Cliff a couple times, but I've met Dr. Meldrum. I visit with him probably once a year when he comes here. Christopher Knoll out of Vermont, I've had lunch with him. He's a straight up guy. Now, you know, not a lot of people agree with some of his theories, but he is out there doing it. He is out there filming. He is getting vocals. Some people don't believe in the woo, you know, he's got a few controversial beliefs, but, you know, we don't know. Nobody's an expert, so let's listen to everybody and find out what they think's going on. But Christopher's a stand-up guy. Mark Blankenship, Cascade Bigfoot. I'll tell you what, guys, he's the one. He's going to find it. I'm just convinced of that. This guy, if you believe what he says and what he's filmed, he's got that film of the one behind the tree with the camera in his backpack. And I have been saying for probably 20 years, well, since the first GoPro came out, or the first action camera, I'm not sure how long ago that, maybe 15 years, somebody needs to put one in a backpack facing backwards and go for a hike. Because I truly believe that you'll walk right by them, but they're going to poke their head out to see after you've gone by. They're quick enough, when you turn around, they're gone. And that's what Mark did. And he got it. He got that thing by the tree by their truck. And it's there, man. I mean, you know, you see it. You see a being there. Now, you can draw a conclusion of whether it's a Sasquatch or whether it's somebody hoaxing it or whatever. I happen to believe it's 100% real. But Mark's a guy. He's a local guy here in Washington. He does most of his stuff up in the Cascades. He's got a few places that he won't really tell people where they are. They get a lot of activity up there. Him and his partner Doug, who started Cascade Bigfoot, had planned to kill. They had it all mapped out. They had all the tools to do it. They had the firepower. They had ways to drag it out. They timed themselves. They knew pretty, I mean, you know, there was over a 50% chance they were going to get one because they had so much activity here. But, you know, at the last minute, Mark realized, man, I can't kill one of these things. And I applaud Mark for doing that. He was a stand-up guy. Now, him and Doug came to a disagreement on that, and I don't think they work together anymore. But I'm glad Mark did that because, you know, you don't just kill something to prove it's right. That you're right and that these things exist. Although science is going to need a dead body, I could really care less about science. I think this is just, you know, I don't really want anybody to find one. I like the mystery. I like the adventure. I like anticipating if somebody's going to get a good video or some good vocals. I like to be out in the woods and just you know, wonder if there's one around the corner, or wonder if one's watching me, which I'm sure they are. I think they watch in their own territory. I'm pretty sure they watch everybody and everything. That's the good thing to me. You know, we find one, all of a sudden it just becomes a deer or an elk or whatever other species is in the woods, and people either fear it, hunt it, stay away from it, and it's a done deal. You know, speaking of the species, my personal beliefs is that they are I don't know, missing link. I don't think they come on spaceships. I don't think they were half alien, half human. I think they've been here forever. I think they just branched off and didn't develop the same way as humans did. I don't think they developed the same way as monkeys and apes did. I think they're somewhere in the middle. I think they are king of their domain. I can't think of anything else except maybe a grizzly bear that is above it or equal to it in the food chain. I think that's why they've survived like humans. You know, they can adapt, they can move. You know, people have seen them using rocks to break open shells, so they have some use of tools. You know, no use of fire has ever been reported, so they're not to that point yet, or whether they even care or no. I think they fear fire. I think wildfires have killed a lot of them. I think down in Mount St. Helens, when it erupted in 1980, I think that killed a lot of them. A lot of military reports of them hauling the bodies out. Believe it, don't believe it, it's fun to read. But yeah, that's my opinion, but I don't know. Nobody knows. I could be 100% wrong. The people that believe they're UFO based could be right. They could be 100% wrong. I could be right. That's the fun of this whole thing, is nobody knows for sure. It's fun to hear other ideas. It's fun to discuss. People who get mad about it, you know, they're mad about other things in life. I don't take that very seriously. I'm a special needs school bus driver, and my afternoon kids are totally fascinated with Bigfoot now. They'd never even, most of them hadn't even heard of it. Some had and thought it was just a movie monster. My screensaver on my phone is Patty. They all want to see it. They all want to talk about it. They want to know why they can't just go out in their backyard and find it. It's really fun. It's really fun for them. It's fun for me. You know, I think they look forward to talking about it on my bus. If their parents ever, you know, tell me they don't want me to talk to them about it, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You know, I just try to find stuff that these kids like to talk to, because a lot of them are nonverbal or close to nonverbal. Some of them with their learning and social disabilities don't talk to each other. So anything I can do to make them more social and make them interact with me and the other kids on the bus is great. You know, we can talk about unicorns, we can talk about Bigfoot, we can talk about whatever. The interaction is what I'm striving for, and to get them to interact with each other. And I've seen a huge difference in the last 3 or 4 months that I've been taking these kids from silent on the bus to almost obnoxious at times, and it's really, really cool to see. It makes my day. Another thing I wanted to talk about was stick structures. You know, Colorado Bigfoot, watch the videos, they find hundreds and hundreds of stick structures. I don't know, you know, maybe they're making hundreds of stick structures. I think they do some for markings. I think they do some, it's like mapping, talking to each other, warning other clans or other individual Sasquatch to stay away, or we're this way or we're that way. You know, if they are marking it for human to stay away, they need to make it a little more clear, because some people interpret them that way, some people don't. You know, I don't know how they could make it any clearer, but you know, I'm not sure that's what their intent is. Maybe it is. You know, a lot of people went and walked down a trail and then come, and there's been nothing, come back and there's, you know, a couple trees pushed over, you know, telling them to stay out. Well, that kind of blocks them in to me, but you know, warning them. We've had a tree put over. We camped that one night up by Haney Meadows in eastern Washington, which is kind of a famous place for Sasquatch sightings and activity. On a motorcycle ride, we camped deep, you know, like 30 miles out, and rode into the camp on our motorcycles, heard trees crashing all night long, tried to ride out, and there was a big tree across our road, and we couldn't get out without moving it. So, you know, it is what it is. I believe that they probably didn't want us there that night. And then I thought, well, heck, everybody else was snoring asleep, and I'm in my tent wide awake listening to these tree falls. They could have been right outside my tent, you know, and that's a little unnerving. But I don't believe they go out. I don't believe that they go out meaning harm to us. I think they're very protective of where they are and their families, and they're young. I don't think they're bloodthirsty. I don't think they come into camp and rip everybody's arms off. You know, I think if you do something they don't like, or you don't back off when they want you to back off, you know, there's going to be problems. I don't think they hunt us for food, but like I said, I could be totally wrong. These are just my thoughts. So yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, another guy that I really respect is Derek Randall of the Olympic Project. That's also here in Washington in the Olympic Mountains, which a lot of people believe is a hot spot right now, and it has been for years. I've talked to Derek several times, and he doesn't come to the Sasquatch summits much anymore. He's busy, he's got a business to run too, but he'll send somebody from the Olympic Project to go over evidence. One of their guys is a well-known, famous audio analyst, and he'll bring some audio and analyze it, which is, you know, it's great for me because that's what I like. But last time I saw Derek, he said they have something, and he had a grin from ear to ear. He says, we have something, but we are not going to present it until it's 100% sure that nobody can step up and prove it wrong, and there'll be no controversy. That was 2 years ago, I think. And they haven't stepped forward with anything. Now, I know that they've got, God, I don't know, 50, 60 game cameras. It's just limited by budget on how many they can put out on a ridge line in the Olympic Mountains, where they hiked up to, is like 17 miles through dense woods from the nearest road or trail. They found a ridgeline trail, runs, you know, an animal trail, not a human trail, and they put up game cameras, and they've done some stuff. So I think that's probably where this is all coming from. They did find the nesting bedding site. That's been like 3 or 4 years ago, and that's been analyzed by a lot of different people. Cliff's been there, you know, and they've got some good hair samples out of the bedding area. So whatever he's got, I'm patiently waiting to hear what it's going to be. He didn't show up at the Sasquatch Summit this year, so hopefully next year he will. I'm trying to get Johnny, that runs the Sasquatch Summit at the Quinault Beach Casino every year, to get Mark Blankenship from Cascade Bigfoot to come in and talk. It hasn't been successful yet, but I don't know why. I'll just keep bugging him until it happens. Hopefully Mark isn't turning him down. Mark's kind of a shy guy, but he needs to talk. He needs to tell some people stuff and show them some things, because it's really, really good stuff. So, all right, I think that's about it for now. I'm looking down at my notes. You know, if people start watching this channel, you got any questions about anything, want me to talk about, tell me I'm crazy, tell me I'm a fool, tell me I'm the greatest guy in the world and my ideas are awesome. Whatever it is, I just want to know people are getting to see this. I'm trying to get it out. If you know how to get videos out into YouTube world without paying much of money, that would be great. I'm not looking to make any money or anything off of this. I just need somebody to talk to. Don't have any real Bigfoot friends that I see on a daily basis, so I'd like, you know, start some conversations with people. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So this is Squatch Talk number 2. I'm Big Fat Al. Later.